Glenn, thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. So we are excited for the Hilton Garden Inn opening up. I know there's a lot of questions as far as an opening date. And as you know, through construction, there's
you'll know when it opens.
That's right. That's right. It's a moving target. So at the moment, our target date is December 1st to December 15th, but don't hold me to it.
Sure.
As construction happens, there's weather issues, there's rock and soil, which these are things that you don't anticipate.
And our wonderful government, I'm sure, is fun to be a part of as you're putting this together.
That's right. That's right. The permitting process is probably the best time that we have in the construction time.
Well, take a step back and tell us a little bit about ABC and how you formed, what exactly you do, because you do more than just build hotels.
Correct. So a little history about ABC Investments. We're actually based out of Charlotte.
Oh, Charlotte. Sorry about that.
Our mailing address is Huntersville. And my father, Von Patel, and a lot of the tribute goes to him, started the company in 1979. And we pretty much do commercial real estate. That is exactly what we do. We do a lot of land banking. We do site selection. We do franchise affiliation. But with commercial real estate, we largely develop hotels. We do mixed-use developments, so single-family homes and things of that nature, but we largely develop hotels, and we manage our own hotels as well as third-party management. And with that, we look at different markets, Statesville being one of them. We've been in Statesville since 1983. We opened the Comfort Inn and Suites in 1987, and we still own it as a family. It's a family business. We manage it through ABC Investments. At one point, we had 4 hotels in Statesville, and the Ramada, we actually demolished that hotel, and that is the location where we're building the Hilton Garden Inn now.
And people don't realize the hotel business is a very challenging business because there's so many aspects to it. There's a property aspect to it. There is this. People don't realize this, but your product is perishable. If you don't rent the room today, it's gone, right? You can't rent yesterday. That's a very challenging business. And then, of course, there's a whole aspect of food service that's attached to it as well. And then the responsibility of sanitation and cleanliness, and then maintenance of the property. There's a lot of things that go into operating a hotel. Can you talk about your management? Do you have a management company that does this? And can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So you nailed it right on the head, Joe.
What he meant to say was exactly.
No, he didn't want to say that.
we do. ABC Investments and Management Company is a full-service management company for hotels. We do have a management team. For everything from a general manager all the way down to our line-level employees, including housekeepers, servers, sous chefs, things of that nature. But it is really a big show when you have a hotel and you operate a hotel, because from beginning to end, we do have to do site selection. We have to know about construction. We do have to know about banks and lending and looking at term sheets and making sure we're financially responsible. At the same time, we have the HR aspect of it. We have now with ABC Investments close to 250 employees, and then obviously the maintenance and the operations of the hotel. Each franchise is different in their standards, and we do have to keep up to date with that as well. Hilton Garden being one of the more stringent of the franchises.
Well, that's what I was gonna. That was my next question. How do you choose what brand you want to put in what location? Because I've always wondered, now, why did they choose that brand in that location? How does that happen?
That's a good question. Depending on the market, and again, market specific, each brand, each franchise lends itself to a audience, to the guest. Statesville 10 years ago would probably not have an appetite for a Hilton Garden Inn. Now, with the corporate transient, with our corporate guest, it does make sense.
And the nice job that they've done with downtown as well certainly doesn't hurt that process.
Not at all. Not at all. That will definitely help. So that's one part of that, and then the franchisors also do a internal feasibility study. We do a feasibility study. We do not want to build a $15 million hotel that will not sustain in a market that it does not deserve.
Well, let's talk a little bit about family business, because I went to school with somebody that's in the same industry, and he also had a family business. And there's challenges that go with that. I mean, there's this great futuristic vision that you have, that you know what you're going to do, and you grow up with the passion of the industry. And then there's the challenge of working with family members. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because there's a lot of people out there listening thinking, do I want to bring my son in the business? Do I want to work with my wife in the business? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. This is a story that's probably not typical. I actually went to Carolina undergrad, and then I graduated from SMU School of Medicine. I did not have a business degree.
Well, John Green is looking for some good doctors, so if you want to switch...
He needs you.
And John and I have talked about this. We sit on the chamber board together, so we've had many discussions. But growing up in the industry, my father, Von Patel, moved from Africa, with very small means and kind of a rags to riches story. Started the company and did very well. And me growing up in the hotel industry, it kind of spoke to me. I mean, we are people that are hospitable, you know, and it translates in what we do. So growing up, I was always in the hotels. I was doing things, cleaning rooms,
whether
checking
you liked
people
it
in.
or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are chores. So growing up, I enjoyed it. Went to school, kind of took a little break from med school when I was matching for residency. Came back in the business and never looked back. And that was tail end of 2008, beginning of 2009, and the rest is history.
You know, a lot of people don't realize this, but the financing aspect of your industry is extremely challenging, and we hear small business people have a really tough time with financing, especially you talk about you coming back in the industry in 2008, which was not a fun time, Talk about the ups and downs of your industry and how financing applies to it, because you might have a great market, but somewhere along the line, somebody needs to write you a check to build the darn thing.
Absolutely. Financing is tough. You're absolutely right. In 2008 and 2009 into 2010, new construction, especially in hotels, it was marked with banks as a high-risk asset, and they probably did not want it on their books. As banks started loosening up and interest rates started to be a little bit more affordable and drop, new construction started to pick up a little bit. And it is a peak and a trough, and we measure that. And during those troughs, we actually reinvest into our hotels. We go through renovations. We do a lot of refurbishing of case goods, of furniture and things of that nature.
Right.
Now, you don't just have a couple of hotels here in Statesville. As I recall, you're in South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
So how many total hotels have you involved with? So you're not a small potato here.
Well, we're 17 hotels overall.
Okay.
We manage 12 directly from our office here in Charlotte.
Cool.
Let's talk. We are on a radio station in Iredell County, and I do want to talk about the Hilton Garden Inn in Statesville, because I want everybody listening, small business or not, to know you have chosen to invest a substantial amount of money in their community. So let's talk a little bit about this hotel and kind of give them a sneak preview of what they can expect.
Sure. Well, we've got 104 guest rooms at the Hilton Garden Inn, of which 12 will be extended suites. They're looking at close to 600 square feet for those suites. A typical guest room will be roughly 400 square feet. And the Hilton Garden Inn, as a brand, we typically have full F&B, which is food and beverage. So we will include a full kitchen. We will serve cook-to-order breakfast. We will also have a cook-to-order dinner menu as well. With that, we're going to step out of the box a little bit and do catering, and we will have internal catering from the hotel out in the community as well as meeting space at the hotel. So with that, we've got 2,000 square feet of meeting space, banquet room, boardrooms, as well as the Hilton Garden Inn sleeping system, which is a brand new bedding system that they guarantee you a good night's rest or your money back.
Right. What? That's all right.
And the cool thing that Hilton's rolled out with, which we will have, one of the new technology, you will actually use your cell phone to open your guest rooms with the Bluetooth.
I've read about that. That is cool.
Yeah, and so we're excited for that. We will have a heated indoor pool, which will be a saltwater pool, so no chlorine.
That is great.